Hi everyone. In this session, I'm going to show you how to deploy production level Kubernetes cluster on AWS by doing the security best practices. If you're looking for more information about this video, you can actually refer to the list and the comments which I will provide it at the bottom of this video. For now, I'm just gonna show you how I set up my AWS account. As you can see, I just created an admin account which has got a bit of high privilege, and I already set up the MFA for that as well. I will show you how I have done that. Alright, step one is preparing Ansible controller node. So in this case, I have already set up MFA for this account. I hope that you are already aware how to do it, but just to make sure, I will show you where you have to refer. As you can see here, I've got my username here, account ID, my ARN, and here you can see that my virtual MFA being set it up in this part. In terms of assigning MFA, you can assign your MFA which is just could be an authentication or authenticator app on your mobile, and you can use Google Authenticator, you can use LastPass Authenticator, you can use any kind of authenticator which you prefer to create your virtual MFA here. What I have done, I also created access keys, and as you know, having actually permanent access keys is not a good practice in terms of security. Since my main focus in recent years was cybersecurity, I strongly recommend you to do the best practices as I am doing here. Okay, I'm gonna open up my CMD. Hopefully these days Windows are supporting many options that used to be supported just by Linux machines. I remember we had to actually install something like WSL before in order to be able to install AWS CLI, or just use PowerShell, which was supported before. But even CMD, which is based on PowerShell itself, nowadays supported that. I already installed AWS CLI for my computer, and I believe that you can easily search it on AWS documents in order to how to install it via your AWS via your CMD, Windows CMD. So at the first stage, I just gonna, after that, okay, you created your profile here in terms of AWS CLI, and you created your keys, which you can grab it from here. All you have to do is do AWS configure. AWS configure, you can go it like this. I already configured my AWS before, but for you this will comes up and pops up as an empty field, and you just need to add your keys, your AWS secret keys. Your default region, I put none for this test, but in most of the cases you are already in a specific regions, such as US East, West, or whatever. And default output format, sometimes you can put JSON, you can put text, or whatever you like. I didn't put anything for now, and hit enter. So it means that my AWS account is already configured, but there is something you have to note, and that is MFA. Since I don't have MFA account at the moment, so sorry, I already actually, yeah, I enabled MFA here, so my account is MFA enabled. So I need to run this command to be able to use my AWS CLI. So what I will do, I will run AWS STS serial number. All of these actually commands could be found on Medium, which I already created a page for this video for that. So STS get session token serial number. Serial number, you can grab it from here. And then token code. So now you have to actually watch your virtual MFA. My one is Google Authenticator, so I will see my code. This code will be changed, by the way, for you. And hit enter. Alright, you can see that it is providing me an access key, secret access key, session token, which I can actually set them here as environmental variables. Make sure if you are using CMD or Linux, if you're using Linux, if you're gonna set them as a environmental variable, you have to use expert, but here I'm using set. So I'm setting them like this. This is my access key. Then set this one. This is my secret access key. You might ask, okay, we already got access key and secret access key, but this is the new secret key and access key which been provided. And it will be available and valid just for 12 hours, I reckon, based on the default setting. And then set AWS session token. This is the token. And start from F. Great. So I'm already connected to my account via this terminal. Next stage is creating a VPC. I've done it before myself. I will show you how to do it. As you can see here, in my region, which is Sydney, I've already got 2 VPC. One is default, which is always available if you don't want to do too much security practices for your deployment. You can just use this one, and even you can assign public IPs to that. But since my aim is security, I already created a private virtual private cloud. So as you can see, I already assigned this CIDR, this IP range, which is pretty huge, I think, to this VPC. You can actually even create a smaller kind of, subnet, but that's up to you. So this is my VPC. Here, inside my VPC, I created 2 subnets. One is private subnet and the other one is public subnet. Please refer to the document and you can find out what I have done. Hopefully these days creating a VPC is much easier than before, so you just need to go here and all you need to do is tick this one, VPC and more, and then it will provide you. For my one, all I have done was just, okay, since I just needed one availability zone, but one availability zone is not a good practice to have a high available Kubernetes cluster. If you're gonna do it as a lab environment or things, that's fine, but in real production network, you definitely need more than 2 availability zones. But here I just grab 1 availability zone. Number of public subnets, just 1, and the private subnet, just 1. In terms of NAT gateway, I will grab 1 gateway, NAT gateway per each availability zone. I just have 1. Here I don't need any S3 gateway. And as you can see, AWS is showing us a great preview here. Project VPC, 1 public subnet, 1 private subnet. You can actually connect to public network or internet facing network could be your public subnet. This one is just your internal subnet for having more security. I strongly suggest you to do that like this. These are root tables which will be created itself, and this is internet gateway and this is your NAT gateway. So AWS will look after that itself, and it will actually even create all necessary root gateway root tables for you as well. By the way, I get back to my own VPC, so you can see that this is my one which been created before. So next step is creating an Ansible controller inside my subnet, public subnet. So I already created that myself, but again, you can find it in the text. Let's get back here. This is my Ansible controller. It is in stop mode. You can actually stop your instances once you got nothing to do with them, so don't forget to do that. AWS got some tools that can even notify you if you reached a specific amount or something. But for now, don't worry about that. But I strongly suggest you to put some boundaries, I don't know, notification or whatever suits you, not to be charged too much. Okay, this is my Ansible controller. As you can see, I already launched that inside my public subnet. I used an Ubuntu AMI, and I used a private key. But for now, even what I'm gonna do, I just gonna do more. This is the security group which been assigned to this Ansible controller. So technically, let me show you. You just got an Ansible controller, and that Ansible controller is let me open up a website which I use most of these drawings in. Alright, draw.ir. Create a new blank. Yeah, and this is Ansible. Alright. Okay. Imagine this is your Ansible controller. So this Ansible controller is inside this subnet. I put my public subnet. And it's gonna control and spin up a Kubespray cluster via SSH connections. As you can see, these are SSH connections to all my nodes SSH. So, you know, Ansible is an agentless tool. That's why it is a favorite tool for most of the developers and, you know, DevSecOps engineers and even security engineers like me. And then you got your nodes. For example, this is node 1, and this is node 2. It's just, I already, for this actually presentation, I'm gonna spin up a cluster with 6 nodes. I don't want to show all 6 of them, but just for the purpose of education, you can see here, this is subnet, this is actually all text, private subnet. So we got our public subnet and or private subnet. Let me save it not to lose it. So my Ansible controller machine, let me connect it to here, is going to connect to these nodes and control them. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna actually even ban any type of connection to this controller or SSH connection from the public internet. So if this is the public internet and we're gonna SSH to this machine, all I'm gonna do is delete this connection. So you might ask, okay, if you delete this connection, how are you gonna SSH to your machine? Well, I will show you how. Alright, save and get back here. This is my public IP, which I use to connect to my Ansible controller, which was located in public subnet. But since I don't need it more, I'm gonna delete this rule over there. So this is my security group. Great. You can see here, edit inbound rules. And great, remove it. Yeah, I removed that. Now, how I'm going to connect to my Ansible controller. Easy. Start the instance. I'm just gonna start all the instances here as well. Okay, great. They're all in pending state. It won't take too much. It seems the Ansible controller is running and it is initializing. So let's see what we're gonna do. I already got an instance ID here, okay? So I just put instance ID here, and since the SSM agent been already manually installed in this machine, which I explained that, okay, you can even do it during the launch time of the instance, I am able to connect to this machine. Just to show you here, once you are launching an instance, there is an option user data. So what I have done, I just put these two commands for all of the machines: sudo snap install Amazon SSM agent classic and start. So this will actually start SSM agent on those machines. And one thing that you should never forget is SSM IAM role that all of these machines need to be assigned. So let me see where about it is. See, IAM instance profile. So here, see, SSM role EC2. So once you're gonna have SSM agent on each machine, you need to, okay, you add these ones. For Ubuntu machine, I have to add them. I'm not sure about Linux EC2s myself, but I think that they are already by default they already support SSM agent by default, but you have to just cross-check. But since I'm more than happy to use Ubuntu here, so I just did it myself. Okay, no need for that. Just get back to the EC2s. And okay, everything is running. This is my Ansible controller. I already copied this instance ID here into my CMD, and we got this command. AWS SSM start session target I blah blah blah, and my preferred region, which is AP-Southeast-2. Dash region, AP-Southeast-2. AP-Southeast-2. Alright, hit enter. See? Strong sudo su, and you're inside your Ansible controller. Alright, so inside this Ansible controller, what I have done, my next step is preparing Kubernetes. Okay, I will get back to this node later on. For now, I'm just going to show you what I have done regarding Kubernetes clusters. I already put all the cluster nodes inside one private subnet. So as you can see, node 1, 2, 3, 4, all of them are inside this private subnet. And in terms of security rules, let's get back to here. This is the security group. I already created, assigned this IAM rule for them as well, in order to just get connected straight through my CMD, local CMD, but you don't need it even, because you can do SSH through your Ansible controller as well. By the way, you need SSH connection from your Ansible controller to all those nodes. Okay, this is the rules. This is the inbound rules, and I already put this rule, so it is just accepting any protocol at any port from or internal VPC. You can change it as per your specific security needs. If you need specific ports, protocols, or if you created a smaller VPC, it would be much greater for you in terms of security practices. But honestly, I don't want to be too much fussy as well, because we already have enough. I think I already put enough security measurements and standards to spin up this cluster. So I created 6 of these nodes here. They're all Ubuntu nodes. And what I have done, I went to my controller, and in order to be able to connect to these nodes and even check the SSH connection to them, I put my okay, let me show you something here. I'm just gonna before, actually, at the moment I cannot do SCP from my local machine to this Ansible controller, but previously what I have done, I can show you here. I SCP my private key from my local machine, which is here, to my Ansible controller, and then from that I copied it into my temporary folder, and then through that I just copied it into my root.ssh folder. I changed the mode, and then through this one, since during the spinning up the private subnet nodes, I already chosen the same keys which I used for Ansible controller from there, I can easily connect to this Ubuntu machine, which is one of my nodes. So let me show you. I think still the same IP addresses in place. I hope so. You can see this is node 1, which I am already connected via my Ansible controller. So next step is deploying Kubesprays. Okay, I'm just gonna get back to show you what I have done on my controller machine. So I did git clone this Kubespray from, it's a public repo in GitHub. So all you need to do is running this command, which let me show you. Okay. Git clone, this is the command, yeah. And after that, I ran this command. That repo was available on my Ansible controller. But the main thing during Ansible installation is, so what you have to do apt-get update on your Ansible controller. And the most important thing is running your Ansible playbook inside a virtual environment. So for people who are not aware of virtual environment, I already put the comments here. So you can find it from Kubespray official GitHub repo or official website as well. So let me show you. You just copy paste these comments here. VMV. Alright, you define these variables. This is your Kubespray. And as you can see, this is Python 3. Alright. And if I run this one, you see here Kubespray.virtual environment. So I'm already inside virtual environment. So from now on, whatever I will do in terms of deploying Kubespray is from the virtual environments. See this one. Okay, so you got Kubespray -venv and you got this one. Okay, so I don't want to do pip install because I already done all of them before. So you just have to follow up these commands after that. Make sure, see, everything to be done here inside the virtual environment. In order to update my Ansible inventory, you have to declare the IPs. So where you grab the IPs, you grab the IPs from your nodes. For example, node 1, this is your private IP, which is ending with 196. Okay, see, I declared all of them. After that, I just ran my playbook. After half an hour, another most important issue is changing your Ansible playbook. You might get different, it depends on your local system, on your region or whatever. You might get an error once you run your Ansible playbook. But my main suggestion is try to use ChatGPT or whatever, Google, to understand or read the errors and then follow it up. For me, this happened during the installation. I get to know that I have to change this attribute Ansible user to Ubuntu, and I just added this one into my inventory, which was host.yaml. So I did this one. After changing this one, I ran my Ansible playbook, and as you can see here, everything finished. Once you don't see any fails, it means that everything is okay. So this is done for me before, so all I need to do, I'm just gonna exit from here, sudo su, and I remember, okay, let's just jump into my Ubuntu node 1, which is my master node. You can change your playbook. I use the default playbook here, which is using two, let me show you, kubectl get node -o white. Ah, this is the error. I gotta be root. So again, okay, you can see I already got 2 nodes as master nodes, and I used all of the nodes as cube nodes, but you can change whatever you like in your playbook. So I'm pretty sure I cannot show you all the variables you got in your Ansible, specific Ansible playbooks, but based on your needs, for instance, you can have 3 control nodes, you can have 2 control nodes, you can have your etcd. Okay, let's see the pods as well. kubectl I think -n cube system. All right, okay. This is all Calico, which we used. This is the default anyways. We used Calico CNI, which is a very useful at the moment, you know, at least in telco industry or very big cloud environment. It is a very well and famous CNI, but you can use whatever CNI, you can change it as per the variables which you can find in your Ansible playbook. I will show you. So let's get back to my controller, and then Kubespray cd inventory and cd my cluster ll. This is my host, this is inventory. You can go to group vars. There are a lot of variables here. Get to all. For instance, even if you have specific YAML and variables to be used in AWS environment, but you can even see For example, y.all, all.all, sorry, vi all.yaml. So, okay. This is what I use, no proxy. You can even set up a proxy here. If you're using a proxy, you can have add your proxy. If you're gonna actually install it inside an air-gapped or offline environment, everything need to be done through all playbooks, which is very well documented for Kubespray. Thank you for watching this video. See you in next video. Bye bye.